Okay, so this is my old Asus K70IO laptop. And today we're going to be talking about a common issue with these things. This thing has lasted a long time. Of course, I've kept it up for a long time. It's been through a lot. These have a common issue where the display randomly every couple years will start having lines through it or flickering or some issues like that before inevitably the screen just goes completely white or completely black. This happens pretty much every couple years on this. Is extremely common. You can tell this thing's been through a lot because it's missing its hinge covers. The hinges are kind of floppy and whatnot. But it looks like this. I'll show a clip on the screen of what that problem looks like. So what this problem is there's a connector that goes from the display down to the main board of the laptop that hooks in, and it's got like these really thin wires on it. That connector will kind of, due to temperature change, will kind of work its way out, or if you like ride around in a car with it and it kind of vibrates a little bit, it can work its way out. So you just unplug it and plug it back in. Let me show you how to get to that. So if we turn the laptop around, on the back here, I'll show close-up pictures of it, but there's supposed to be 4 screws, one here, one here, one here, and one here. When you remove these, it makes a plate that's on the back here slide back, which gives you access to everything like underneath the laptop. So the first step for that would be to take off this panel, which is missing on this, which is just the battery cover. It just has a little thing. You just push this little tab back to unlock where the battery is, and then it just pops up. You take that off, and then over here, there's the hard drive cover, which I'll put a close-up picture on the screen of that. It's supposed to have a screw right there in that corner that you would unscrew and take out. All these should be Phillips heads. So you just pop this off. So here's where my hard drive is. Obviously, it's not the stock caddy and everything, and it's kind of rigged up to just exist. But I have a screw here that goes to this panel to hold it in. I just have a random security screw off in there just to hold it. Same for back here, where we would take these screws off. All of mine are missing except for this one, which I also just used another random security screw for. You can tell this thing has been through absolute hell. So this just pushes back and comes up. It's that panel. So here we have the whole laptop. I wish things were still made like this. Fortunately, there's a lot where you just take the bottom case off, but this is so much more convenient. This is back when they actually had dedicated graphics cards. But back here in this corner over here, there's a cable that runs from the actual screen that goes through the body and comes over here by where the RAM is. It comes in. There's actually a ground that holds on to the heatsink over here. But if you follow that cable over, there's a connector in between the fan and the graphics card right here. I'll get a close up of this connector real quick. I can throw up on the screen. So here's where the connector comes in from the monitor. And there's the ground that connects to the heatsink there. This goes over. Here's the connector. So you have this connector down here. Try and get a good shot of it. It's this whole connector. You just want to carefully just take it even by the cables. Just kind of wiggle it like this. It'll pop up. So here's what the connector looks like. Here. Basically, you just unplug it. Blow this out. There was a speck of dirt in there even. So this, it only goes in one way. So you just take it very carefully. It's very hard to do with one hand. But you just want to take it, carefully plug it back in. And that fixes your display issue. We just plug it back in, and that's the spot that works its way out. That's what fixes that issue, and then you could literally just put this back together. That's how that issue is fixed. I figure I'll probably do another video on doing thermal compound on this because it's pretty simple. It's literally just few screws. This unit comes off, and that goes to your CPU, and your GPU comes out as one piece compared to like modern laptops where it's uh all on one board, two chips, and just has all the heat sinks on there. So now I'm just gonna put this back together. Quick. Which I use this laptop to remotely connect to my desktop and use it like a remote control for it through remote desktop protocol, which comes really in handy. I just use an old version of Linux Mint on it. It's like the last 32-bit version of Linux Mint that featured the Mate interface. You can technically use Debian Edition 32-bit on it, but it kind of hogs a little bit more. But yeah, that's how you fix that display issue. And when you turn it on, should be just as simple as turning it on and it finally working with its display as intended. There's our Mint logo. Drop down to shell so that you can see the startup sequence. And there it is. And now it works. And it doesn't have all the lines running through it or any flashing or anything with the display. So if this is happening, if that problem is happening to your laptop, could be something just as simple as something like that, where it's literally just a plug and not actually be the screen or anything. The only time I've ever had actual screen issues with this is if the backlight isn't working and you've just done a service on it, there's a small cable in the back that can be left unplugged by accident that you just plug in. And of course, I've replaced the screen once because it has broken in the past. With how old this thing is and it aging, obviously the hinge covers are missing. Hinges are floppy because there's some screws missing and the plastic likes to strip. And the bezel that's around the screen here, the plastic is just crumbling around the edges. So I'll probably wind up doing something very creative with this in the next several years when it decides to finally mess up. Shuts down nice and quick too. Yeah, I hope that helps somebody. I know that could be quite scary if that just randomly happened. Screen messing up one day and not knowing what it is, but it's quick and easy to fix. that helped. See you in the next one.